Hey, Andy, Jamie.
Hey Scott, thank you, and hello Jamie. How are you, buddy?
Doing okay, Andy. Happy
All right.
Thursday. Interesting
Yes.
stuff today to talk about. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, market looking a lot different than the last time we met at this time, huh?
That is true.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a market, man. You know, expect crazy things from a market. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us today, taking time out of your afternoon. I'm hoping and uh, thinking that we'll have some insights for you today that will be helpful to you as you uh, you know strive to make profits, right? And that's what traders do. So yeah, I'm sure going to have something to share with you that it can be can help you do that. So, but before we do, let's dive into our disclaimer real quick, guys. Bear with us. All right, we need to let everybody know that we are doing this for educational purposes only. All right, we are going to be talking about some stock prices and stock action today and things like that, but nothing that you hear or see should be construed as investment advice. All right, we're just, like I said, um, just having fun, man, having fun and giving some educational advice, but nothing, like I said, no investment advice at all. All right, if you are looking for that, please find somebody who is licensed, like an RIA, a stockbroker, and they'll be happy to help you and take your money. All right, before we move on to the agenda for today, I need to tell everybody in here for the first time about our 5-star support, education, and training. Um, it's a very powerful software, and we realize that, but we also want you to know that it's very intuitive. All right, so um, and it's our job, like I said, to help you understand how intuitive it is, and we provide plenty of resources to do that. And okay, it all starts in the traders room. Barry, not only does Barry trade and show the software, and you can look over his shoulder and see the software, some of it, and there's about 500 good traders in there, all with some really good ideas at times. Um, but also, Barry is great after the first couple hours when things slows down. He'll answer questions. He loves to answer questions that you might have about the software, even if you're not a subscriber. So plenty of education to be had in that room. All right, and then we have webinars every day, Monday through Thursday at 5 Eastern time. You can see them on the left side. The only one's missing there is the Steve's webinar on Tuesday, because that's the Trade of the Week webinar, and that's a subscription. But nonetheless, there's another one in there, and it's usually a juggle between Jamie, Steve, and I. But on Wednesday, we have our Q&A webinar. Great place to come to see a demo of what may be coming around the bend, and also to ask questions. And they also have, so we'll provide some insight as well. All right, and then Friday support session. This is strictly a Q&A session. We have no agenda. We just open up the room. You guys come in and fire away any questions you may have about our software, and we even go into market questions if you want trading questions. We will go there too. One thing great about the educators here at Trade Ideas, we're not only educators and know the software very, very well, but we're also all have 20+ years a piece of trading. So so a lot, you can gain a lot by asking us questions about trading too, is not just the software. All right, let's talk about TI University. This is what you want to take once you subscribe, okay? Because it is a 4-class starting every Monday at 11 Eastern. No, I'm sorry, 12 Eastern. Uh, Beginners 101 starts on Monday, and then you can see it just progresses each day. Go to 201, 301, and then today Jamie had 401, the advanced. It's kind of a graduating class, and we have about an hour's worth of curriculum, and then we open it up to Q&A. So great place to come and learn. Even if you've been with us a while, you can feel free to register for this and come take it at any time. You may need a refreshing course or something like that. All right, but you do have to register for that, guys. All right. Brokerage Plus, guys. This all started as a way to automate your trading. Okay, in other words, if you have a really cool strategy that you built and you're saying, "Great, man, I'd love for this thing just to fire off trades without me having to even touch it," you can do that. But what we're finding out, kind of like Scott was mentioning at the opening here, is, man, this is a really cool interface, and it can do so many things, and it looks so much better than the softwares I've used. Probably 12 different execution platforms, and I've never seen anything like it. You know, the blotter just so clean and crisp, and you can fire off trades from the chart, and also have strategies to set your parameters as far as your risk reward. It's just a really intuitive, really cool interface. And like I said, I think you want to learn more about this, and just go to trade-ideas.com/beta to learn more, and you'll be hearing more and more about it as we move forward for sure. All right, the agenda for today. Uh-oh, I forgot to take off this. Ignore all this stuff. Nothing impressive for the bulls. Well, so forget these little remarks. That's from last week. We're going to talk about the market recap. We're going to talk about the Holly recap. And then some of you may have seen this in Barry's room. As a matter of fact, some of you may have already gotten the custom formula to use this, but I'm sure there's plenty in here that don't. And what this is, it's an alert window called distance to the next high or next low. I've actually broken my windows down into separate windows instead of having them in one. It gets too busy in just one window. But anyway, I'm going to share this with you guys. It's like I said, it's a window. We're going to talk. You've heard me say about stocks having destinies. I'll get more into that once we come to this topic. But it's going to be a fun little segment because we're going to have a custom formula that I'm going to share with you guys. But you are going to have to put it in. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then you'll have access to that custom formula and you can use it. And yeah, it's pretty cool. But we'll get to that when it is time. Let me back out now. And let's pull up the spiders here and take a look at what we're looking at here. I mean, gosh, just a few days ago, things were really looking pretty dire. I mean, we were below the 200, came down here to another kind of a critical level of support, and we held it. We also did the same thing in the Qs. If I pull those up, you can see here, level of support, and we held it. Now, boy, a gap and go on this day. Okay, back above our 200. And let me turn the old pen here. I'm starting to, I like the way Steve uses that, and I need to start using it more too. All right, so what do we had today? We had another gap, right? Not really a gap today. It kind of traded for that, but look how it just right above the 10-period moving average right there and held that. That was yesterday. And then today, a little bit of a gap above the 20-day, came down, tested it, and held that. So interesting little pattern there. We do, I mean, it's a nice 3-day move, but we do have a couple of decent gaps in here, which makes it a little bit difficult. But nonetheless, wow, and look what else we have here. We had kind of a downward sloping trend line ever since May that we kind of broke through. So, wow, things are definitely looking better. Not a lot of resistance left. Guess we could take a look at this area right here and say that's going to be a little bit of resistance, but you can see the kind of the congestion right there. Also married up with a little bit over here. See if it goes back any. Yeah, I see some areas here, this line, where it's kind of been a critical pivot point, we should call it, since we've had several points where it has danced around this level before. So that could be an interesting level. We can see we didn't get through it today, so maybe tomorrow we try that level. And I'll tell you what, we get above this and then get above our 50, boy, you're going to hear people talking about let's go back to all-time highs. You know, it's yeah, it's really strange to be talking about this 3 days after we were looking at this, not just last week. But nonetheless, it's the market we have. And if you look down here, you're going to see, you know, the volume is not all that impressive, but we have seen this a lot over the last, I'll say 10 years, where the downside volume fear is greater than greed, and you get a lot of volume on the downside, and then it tends to kind of stabilize and just melt up on lower volume. But nonetheless, price pays, and it's been paying the bulls the last 3 days. All right, let's take a look now at the, let's see what I'm doing here. Let's take a look at the Qs. And pretty much the same, except it's not through its 20 yet, okay? So not quite as much strength in the Qs. And remember, they got hit a little bit harder than the spiders did, but nonetheless, so they had a little bit more to make up. And they're through their 10-period moving average, but look, they're still got to, you know, still have the 20 right here that's above. And not only that, different little trend here, okay? I would say that's probably not a good looking line there, but we are basically right at that trend line for the Qs. So more, I think, you know, to more work to be done for the bulls to be, you know, raising their arms in the air for sure when it comes to the Qs. Not quite as powerful as we're seeing in the spiders, but nonetheless still a nice little bounce off lows. And let's take a look at the IWM, which I think you still got to keep an eye out for it. Okay, look at the IWM. What do you see here? It was down today. All right, no strength at all here. We had that one day when the whole market just a broad-based rally, but last couple of days, look at that. You basically just flat, not going anywhere, maybe even down a little bit. So IWM is showing no strength at all. So I think, you know, you got to keep an eye on this. Because I guarantee you the spies and Qs are, you know, they're running and saying, you know, where's that little weakling? You know, shouldn't he be catching up with us by now? Nah, it's not happening. So we'll see what happens. No strength at all. I mean, look up here. I mean, gosh, we got, it is so far away from its all-time highs like the other ones that, you know, it's going to be hard to see the spiders and Qs go back to highs if these are just going to flounder, you know, here in the lower, you know, mid part of its yearly range. But we'll see what happens. All right, Jamie. I'd say, what do you have to say, buddy?
Well, no, I agree because, I mean, you know, my little index board where I've got the IWM, the spies, the Q, the Dow. I mean, it's just so strange because you saw green all day and IWM recovered a little bit before the day was out, but it was down close to 1% for the majority of the session. So there's that decoupling in effect. So yeah, it's strange. And you know, is this the peek under the covers or peeking behind the curtain to see what's up for the rest of the market, or will it catch up? You know, something that we do not know now, but we'll find out in the future.
That's true. That is true. Now, before I hand it over to Jamie to give his thorough breakdown of the Holly, like he always does so well, man, I got a pat her on the back again. I mean, 2.0 today. I mean, let me just pull this bad boy up, and let's face it. You know, the market for the most part, until, you know, the last hour and a half, we had a gap up, you know, and this pretty much was just kind of vacillating back and forth, not really doing a whole lot. And I look over here on Holly Gurrell, I'm sorry, 2.0, and she's up like, at the time was like $6. I'm going like, good Lord. And then I pull her up, and on top of that, she's, you know, doing it with longs and shorts. I was going like, that's pretty amazing. That's a nice looking blotter there, Jamie. I could tell you looking at this.
2.0 knocked it out of the park today. Grand slam home run.
Oh yeah, and that's, you know, that's impressive. I mean,
on 10 trades nonetheless.
Oh yeah, I know as a trader, when you get this kind of action, you know, opening up lows, back to highs, back down to the middle part of the range, back and forth a lot, and then finally it does go. And of course, 2.0 even reaped those rewards because she was doing so well. Now this is called what's called full risk, and what full risk is, guys, is if you hold on to everything, even the stop. So in other words, this AXSM, it got stopped out. So it stops counting and risk on and risk off, but we have a new category called full risk that will even add in if you didn't take the stop, and even that one bounced back nicely. So Jamie, I'll let you take it over and dissect a few of these great trades, but I was really impressed with her. She's had a couple of really good days this week.
Absolutely. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. You got it, Andy?
I do.
Okay. So as Andy was talking about, he was talking about full risk. So what I've done here is I've put all risk modes on here. We got full risk right here. We've got risk off right here, and we've got risk on, right? So now we can show you guys everything. What happened if we use risk off? What happened if we adhered to our stop losses like we did in the AXSM, as Andy was just pointing out? So we can see here, not that bad of a buy, right? Pretty tight stop. What was that, only 34 cents total? Maybe that is a little, I don't know, 1.5% or whatever. But we got the stop out barely, and then it ground on up and popped new highs. So that's reflected in risk off and risk on, because just to encapsulate what are the differences between risk off, risk on, and full risk, well, risk off is just Holly obeying all of her rule set like you and I would do on any trade with our stop loss if we are using a profit target or a timed hold. But of course, Holly does have the ability or the option to call an audible, close out a position early, either in reduced risk mode or profit save. Now we see a couple of reduced risks, but we don't see any profit saves today. Mainly timed exits, a target hit, and one stop hit, a couple of reduces. So, you know, keep in mind, risk off, the most conservative mode, sticking to your rules, you know, to the T. So even on risk off mode, I'll resort by risk off. 1, 2, 3 losers totaling about, what's that, 76? And we'll just call it 88 cents there, or 98 cents, almost a point, but plenty of other good trades, okay? And then if you're just holding everything for the max move into the close, we're still not counting the stop outs, because once this stop hits and this thing goes back up like it did, it doesn't put that tally on top, okay? And then over here, the latest addition that we've added is full risk mode. In other words, you're playing the pure statistical viability of all of these plays and going, okay, I want to get as much of the statistical viability that is possible, which is simply holding all positions into the close. And this is what happened on this day. Full risk made the most, holding everything into the close with no stop losses, no profit targets or anything. So keep in mind, I mean, the smallest winner was 2 cents. So basically she won on every trade, holding everything into the close with no stops, right? And so, you know, of course, there will be some days where full risk is a little bit more beat up, but operating under the theory of statistical viability and that everything on the blotter shouldn't fail, right? We had a few mixed shorts in here, kind of hedging the bets, but we can see that Holly was predominantly long today. And Andy, if you recall back after the first 15 minutes today, and you know, I was commenting on my compare count readings, you know, like, yeah, you know, we've had 2 good up days, and now these compare counts are just kind of iffy. So, you know, but hey, even having said that, hey, the market didn't really care. I mean, it pushed on up again, which just goes to show you, even with, you know, some good windows to give us a little peek into potential futures and everything, sometimes, you know, they're not going to work every time. But man, seeing Holly 2.0 be up almost 9 points today on 10 trades, I mean, that's an average of 90 cents a trade. I mean, that's stellar. I can't recall when I've seen the group of AIs, much less just one certain module, knock it out of the park like this. So, you know, what does that mean? Well, we don't know. Today, phenomenal performance. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. But let's break down some of the risk ons. Because if you were going full risk today, good job. But now let's look at the difference between risk off and risk on. And everybody's going to have their own little spin, maybe put their own little nuances on what they do with Holly's plays. You know, whether you're automating or, you know, and then managing the exits, or just kind of using Holly as a souped up alert window. Everybody's a little bit different. But check out this AYX. Okay, a beautiful play today, and I like this one for a couple of different reasons. So I'm just going to draw the line right there. Beautiful entry on Holly right here. We were down earlier, comes back up. First off, we get a couple of closes right here on these 15-minute candles above that fast line, and then Holly calls out the buy right here, 87.22, and let's see, that's right. I'm trying to see the high of that candle there, Andy. What was that? 86.66. Right, so it had just busted through on a range break coupled with close to a cross, right? So we have statistical viability, and I thought I had my strategy panel up here. Hold on one second. I'll just pop into 2.0 real quick. So close to a cross. Okay, right off the bat, with close to a cross, we've got 60% statistical viability. We've also got a range break occurring, which is another positive factor that we can tack on top of there. And then whoosh, just, hey, you're hard pressed to find these patterns, just what I like to call the stairway to heaven, right? Not really any wiggles to be thrown, maintaining well above the fast line here. So once we got this level right here, immediate gratification, not really any pullbacks, never acted like it was going to pull back to its stop area. And at the same time, very healthy volume levels in AYX. I'll just pull my single stock window over here, and we can see finished the day close to 2 on the relative volume scale, usually trading about 1.12 million, but kicking out almost 1.8 million shares today. So this is the habit that I've gotten into. Anytime Holly calls out a trade that I think is appealing, automatically go and see what the volume levels are, because that is yet another positive factor that we can stack on top of the two that we've already seen here. Number one, Holly's bringing it to us. We've got statistical viability. Number two, a lot of the times we can lay an auxiliary pattern on top that just happened. And number three, high volume as well. So there's three very good characteristics to have behind a trade, and then off to the races. So just a beautiful trade in AYX. Holly plugged out right here because the timed exit expired. We can see down here, close to a cross, 120 minutes, 2-hour hold time, one of the longer intraday hold times that some of these strategies have. But basically, if we wanted to stay in it, hey, it's been going up nicely. Probably could have used a nice 15-minute trailing stop to keep us in, you know, pretty much to this level, and pretty much up until, you know, these levels here. Maybe right here it would have got you out. But the bottom line is, when we have a trade like this and it's just stair-stepping up, we can take Holly's advice, we could ignore it and say, hey, this thing might have more on it. We could always consult the daily and go, well, you know, it's crushed through these little levels right here. Next stop might be this little wick right up here. And that's right about where it stopped, not because it wanted to, but the market closed, right? Little doji action up there at the close in the last 15 minutes, but all in all, just a superb trade, riding that fast line the whole way. So, you know, until you get a little bit more proficient at picking which ones might have a little bit more room, then the 50-50 option is always your best bet. Hey, I'll take Holly's advice, I'll close out half the position, and this is a beautiful one that if you would have done that and said, I'll give the other half back to a break even, would have kept you in the trade for the remainder. So beautiful. What do we have here? A $0.91 on top of the $2 that Holly plucked in risk off mode. Probably going to see something pretty similar here in Brooks automation. Hey, looks like the same algo was running this one today. Look what we got here. We got this wiki 15-minute bar on the open, but more of the same. They slam it down right on the open, slowly walk it back up. Holly gets it. This one before the range break. Remember this one slightly after, right
Anticipating.
here. This one slightly before. So once again, my eyes are drawn to that. Hey, great statistical viability from Got Dough Wants to Go, coming in at 61% viability today. And if it gets up here, ooh, that'd be a great time to maybe double up on the position, add a little bit more to it. And once again, a little bit of hovering around the entry line before it gets liftoff here. Now, she pulled the plug pretty early in this one. Timed exit on Got Dough is a little smaller, 75 minutes. But once again, same methodology. We could do half with Holly, keep the other half. That break-even stop would have kept us in, and this one even sets up one more time. Nice and easy. Buyers and sellers become equal here. We set that range break again, and then we get more lift into the close, all the while staying well above this 10-period moving average here. So on this one, what do we have here? 76, 77 cents of spread in between here. And of course, hey, on a day like today, it is possible to get the majority of this spread because things just kept on trending up right into the close. So another great one in Brooks. And we had trade duplication.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because this one was Got Dough wants to go as it was pumping up into this level. And about 9 minutes later, it took a little pullback. And then quarterback fired on it because there's a little 25% pullback from high is what quarterback's using for its alert. So double signals on there, and then opportunity to bolster the position here. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than that, ladies and gents. And on this one, what we have 67, 60, 69 cents in between risk off and risk on. So just two really great opportunities on the same stock there. And then of course, something completely different for the SFIX short here. We had a pretty quick target hit. Not quite, call it 30 minutes, 10:55 to 11:27 on a nice short that Holly calls right here. Just flip it around. If you're not familiar with short selling, you just sell it before you buy it. You're getting short right up here, and we get a little sideways action before we just eke on down and get that profit target popped. Let me see here. There we go. I was like, that's a little out of whack. So we even got more from that profit target. But hey, never complain when I see a profit target get hit. And this one just happened to go a little bit further, depending on if you were obeying Holly's rules specifically. What do we get here? 27.06, and then this guy bottomed out at 26.50. So another 56 cents in there up for grabs, depending on whether or not you took the whole lot with Holly on the profit target or not. So man, I mean, that's where the majority of the beef came from today. And then of course, seeing, percentage gains, pretty, kind of a nice little mixed bag here. 4%, almost 4.5%, 3%, pushing 3%, pushing 4% on just 4 trades there, carrying the weight of this P&L today. And that's not unheard of, whether you put on 10 or 20 trades a lot of the time, depending on the pattern that you're playing or the statistical set that you're playing, we will get stopped out of a good piece of them, but it's the winners that we let run, carry the water for the day, and that was a perfect example of what 2.0 did today.
Well, I'd say that was a really impressive day.
Otherwise, the old mag here, spitting out one trade, a nice boring 6-cent winner today. And then, our little friend down here, the more aggressive of the two, or the three, Neo, still, coming in at 60 cents on 5 trades, but we had a pretty good loser here in the drip, kind of just dripped on down.
Yeah, it did drip on down.
But, hey, when you got this guy kicking out almost 9 points on 10 trades, I mean, if you launched automation on all modules today, you should have been up pretty nicely today, even with the losers from Neo. So all in all, hey, pat on the back to Holly, which really, I got to say, Andy, it caught me by surprise too. I think it caught everybody by surprise because we were just expecting a 2 push-up day off the 200-day moving average not too long ago, and market might be getting a little tired. But hey, that's what statistical viability is all about, and today was a perfect example of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it was.
All right, my friend. Well, that's about it. So let me kick it on back to you.
Sounds good. All righty, there we go. All right, guys, so let me zoom, get my desk in order here. All right, so you've heard me say this in the past, guys, that stocks have a destiny at times. And here's a great example of Sienna. Earnings call, gapping up above this level right here. Let me put a horizontal line there. Yeah, just gapping up above that level, and that's what you call a gap and go. Gapped up right above it, and you can see here, just kept going. And if you look up there, you're gonna see, wow, there's really no, look at that, it's like a vacuum. There's no real resistance, right, until you get really to this level right here. And you can see it went pretty much right up to it, just a few cents from basically tagging that level. There at the close, almost got it there at the close, but not quite. And so Barry shared this custom with me, and I'm sure some of you guys in the room have probably seen him using it, and he's may have, like I said, he may have, I don't know, he may have shared it with you, maybe you already have it, but I'm sure some of you guys don't, that may not frequent the room as much, but I am going to go over today and talk about what it looks, what it is and what it does, and it's basically a custom formula that will show you where the next high and the next low is. So let me bring it over. He has both his highs and lows in one window, but what I've done just to make it easier, I think, for you guys, is I separated out the highs and the lows, so you're not sitting here watching red, green, you know. So you can see I have a column here called next high or low. Of course, this is only set for next high because these are stocks hitting highs. It's going to look for the next high. And let me go ahead and just run a history of today for this alert window. Well, let's first look at the configuration. There's not a whole lot to it. All right, I'm basically looking for stocks between $5 and $200 that do at least 300,000 shares a day, up 2%. Relative volume of 2, and their volume today is 300,000. And position in 10-day range, 98%. In other words, I don't want to catch ones that are in the middle of a no man's land, like I call it. Then I just have a regular earnings per share filter to eliminate all the ETFs. All right, but if you look in columns, you're going to see a column called next high or low. And if you don't have the custom formula, you will not be able to pull this up. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share this custom formula with you, and you can use it in any of your alert windows if you like. But obviously, I think it's going to work best in a momentum alert because you guys hear me talking about when you have this huge volume and stocks are up and doing that volume, they have a tendency to fulfill their destiny, go to that next level. It's kind of like Einstein's, no, what Einstein, it was Newton's law of motion and law of inertia, whatever you want to call it. As you know, objects in motion will stay in motion until acted upon by an unbalanced force. Well, a lot that could apply to the stocks in price action. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these. And oh gosh, I'm gonna have to. Let's go to today, and hopefully we'll get them all in there. If not, we should get close. It is loading, and I do have more available, but let's see how close we got to the opening of the day. And oh, looks like about 20 minutes. That's okay. Look, we can start from here. You have to understand these alerts were also coming through earlier, but that's okay. That's not my point, how quick we got the alert, okay? What I want to show you is this alert at 8:49 was still telling you, hey, it's $1.71 before you reach any resistance. I shouldn't say any resistance, but it's your next high. Some people may argue that this would be resistance over here, but I don't buy that. I look at it has to be the latest high, unless of course there's a major pivot point, but I don't want to go there. All right, next one, AMD here at 850. Let's see what we got there. We have 96 cents to the next high. Well, what do you see happening here? Okay, we got it at price of 30. 95, and you can see it made it all the way up to 32, which of course would have made it to the next high. Okay, stocks in motion, staying in motion. All right, let's see if there's any more. That one is an ugly one, but look at that chart. That's an ugly chart. But even still, oh no, never mind, 7 cents. Okay, if I see 7 cents, I pass. That's a 7 cents. You don't have that far to go to your next motion. You're going to see Lennar, once again, same story, 9 cents. It wasn't doing this crazy volume until right at this level, and when it did, you were really close to this resistance. Went to it, backed off really hard. But once again, you're looking for ones where you got a nice little margin, like a nice little space, like we saw in Sienna and AMD. Campbell's Soup, 4 cents. See what happened. Yeah, it actually hit it and then danced around a couple of times, and I bet you we got it coming through higher. Let's see, AMD again. There's Campbell Soup. Yep, now it came through and it's showing you the next level. So once it got through that, it's showing you where your next level is. So cool stuff. This is, you guys let me know, some of you guys that frequent the trading room, if this is something that you guys have already shared, that you have access to or Barry has shared with you. And if he hasn't, I hope he doesn't get mad, but I'm sure he won't. Oh, cool. That's great. You guys are going to like this. Plan. Let's take a look at this. Ooh, we got white spaces over here. I mean, we got green spaces with nothing in them. Ah, look over here. There is no resistance. So look at the subsequent action from this one. Very powerful. No resistance, nothing to stop it. Sienna. So, boy, you look at this. There was things to play today. SAIC, whoa, $3.20. Let's see if that got anywhere near it. Ah, boy, it had made a good, pretty big move before it got there, and it obviously never got to that level. But still, you know, you could have got a little bit of action out of that, but nothing like the other ones. IFF. Yep. Oh, here's another one that went to the level. Okay. You had a $1.97. Okay, went to the level and then probably came through again later. Let's see. Let's see if it came through later. Yep, there it comes. I have to go way out. Let's see if we find any more. Well, you can see the big ones today. Sienna, AMD, Plan, and there was one other I can't think of. All right, here's another one. BPMC. Well, you had 92 cents there, and it made it with these and then some. Is it possible for us to add a formula to our account? Yes, I'm going to show you how to do that, Christopher. I am going to show you. This can be really, really great tool because you can, man, like I said, if you can have conviction to stay in some of these things, I'm telling you, it seems to me when you have situations like this and you have huge volume, I don't want to put an exact number on it, but gosh, it seems like about 75 to 80% of those will make it to that target. Oh, Brooks fired off, and it's already at 70. I'm not gonna look at that. That's just one that moved on rumors. But all right, so let's do this. Let's see what we have to do to get this formula, and I'm going to share it with you. So what I want you to do is go to your formula editor page, and what you want to do is go to your account management page. I'll give everybody time to do this. If you don't have it saved, just go to trade-ideas.com/account management, and you're going to have to log in, obviously. Okay, and when you do, all right, you're going to go down here to where it says custom formulas. Okay, I know most of you guys know how to do it, but I'm kind of going slow for some of those who may not. So once again, go to Trade Ideas, find account management, okay, and log in. It'll be the same login as your platform, your software. All right, now you're not going to come to this page, okay? You're going to come to the formula editor main page. Unfortunately, I can't show you that step because on my main page, I have our magic formula for that me and Michael built for the score. I do not, this is being videoed. I do not want to show that. It's proprietary. But all you got to do when you click on a custom formula, it's going to take you to a page that has a button that reads create new on it. It'll be a button like right down here, and it'll say create new formula. It'll have a code beside it, so you don't have to put the code in there. It'll pick your next one for you. Okay, so you want to hit that create new. Okay, now once you've done that, this is what you want to do. In source, okay, I'll copy it and paste it. As a matter of fact, no, I'll tell you what I did. I made it big, nice and big for you so you guys can see it. All right, that's the code that you want to use, and you want to put it in source. Okay, and while you're doing that, let me go ahead and copy and paste it because I know somebody will not get it done right and they'll email me later. So let me copy and I'll paste it into the chat window. It's just going to say code. So there you have it. And there it is again. I'll give you guys time to grab that or to write it out, type it out if you're doing that.
Yeah, Andy, I'm going to archive that for myself as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice little tool. All right, so once you've done that, all you have to do is give it a description. Now, the great thing about this is this code right here works for both next high and next low, so you don't have to have two separate codes. So you want to put in description next high or low or whatever you want to call it. You don't need to put anything for units. Oh, but put a $sign. I'm sorry. Put a $sign for units. You don't want to put percentage. And format, make sure it's on 1.00, and that's all you got to do. No, we don't have formulas right now. You can't do anything to change EMAs or SMAs. That's something that we can't do custom for. And don't ask me why. It seems like it'd be easy, but trust me, we got one of the smartest guys on the planet, and just on our it can't be done with the custom formula. All right, so guys, once you do that, okay, then you want to hit save. All right, and then once you save it, you should not get any sort of error message. If you don't get any error message at the bottom, okay, what you can do is go back to return to list and make sure that one's in there. So just click on return to list after you've done it. Make sure you see it in there inside your new formula editor list. So I will share this window with you now. Let me know if everybody didn't get that, and I'll show it again, but I think I gave time for everybody to get it. And what I'll do is I'll put this back on real time. Actually, I got it set. Nah, I may have made some changes. All right, distance to next highs. I'm going to put this back on real time, and I did, and I'm going to save and share. And drop it also in the chat window. Just call it next high. And there you go. And now what you're going to do is you probably don't even have it when you first load it. You probably don't even have the column up there. You're not, because you don't have a custom for it. So what you want to do, you don't need to change the filters, okay? Since we're not using a filter in here, it's just a column. Now you can use it. Nah, you really can't use it for a filter. All right, so what you want to do is go to configure and then go to columns, and then make sure you add the column. Mine is U7, so you'll need to find it in there. Obviously it won't be in there. You're probably going to have to go to search first and just type in next high, and you can find it. distance from next high or low. That's what you don't need. I got both of them, but really this one works for both of them, so you don't need these other two. So just do that and show column. I already have it in there, so I'm not going to press the button. And then you will have everything set up. And let me just make sure I don't have any sort of filter. I know I don't. No, there's one in there, but there's no values. I thought I probably dropped it. It drops it in there because I'm using it as a column. That's why it drops it in there. So there you go, guys. I think that would be a really nice, let's take a quick, since we have some time, I will also pull over the next low and show you how that works. Here is the next low. Let's run a history. Can you add a value? I bad the column. Let's see, how'd you bad the column? Am I reading that right, Jamie? Okay, I had the column. Oh, you already had the column? Okay. So is it working for you now? Are you getting data in that column if you run a history, Christopher? Okay, good. Well, I don't know if that yes was for the data. Yeah, let me know, guys, if it's not working. It should work fine. Okay, great. If I can add a value to the filter, I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, sure you could. You could use it as a filter. Now that I think about it, you could put a minimum. So in other words, if you only want to see things greater than maybe 50 cents, you could put a minimum of 50 cents. It's a great idea. Yeah, I don't see why not. I haven't tried it, but yeah, you could do that. That's probably a really good idea. All right, you can see here, if I go here, next high or low, you're seeing that it works also for the next low. Let's just examine it here. This PBF at 913. Yeah, it had to go way back. Let's see if I can find one a little bit closer. 5. Yep, there would be at 61 cents. So unfortunately, we don't have the line. So yeah, it seems like it's working. It works fine just for the lows as well. And boy, there was some good stuff on the downside today too. That Tusk, if you caught that one early. Home kind of kept bleeding all day. Geez.
Oh, that's a nice one too. That home.
Yeah, there was some opportunity. It was weird. I was so surprised to see that market take off today, because I'm looking around and
Exactly.
all these lows kept going lower. And if I look at my extreme master blaster, none of those were continuing through. It just seems like over like that. But anyway, let me share this one with you as well, save you a little time so you won't have to flip. And I'll just call this next low. And there you go. And guys, yeah, do keep an eye on this, because gosh, just looking at some of these ones today that came through here, going back while you have a little bit of time left, you know, I can't tell you how many times, you know, you see things like that Sienna and they just keep going. Now be careful later in the day. You know, my theory is, man, if these stocks, you know, unless there's news or something, if these stocks you know, haven't gone by smart. I wonder when that started coming through. Snap. Oh, it's just 3 cents. But there was definitely some. Yeah, that one started coming through earlier too. SMAR. There's Snap earlier. It's just 7 cents. Yeah, it looks like there were probably a lot of resistance going back in history. That's what you got to be careful with. You look at these things and you think they're breaking out, and then you zoom back. Yeah, there's got a whole bunch of resistance over here, and that's why you keep seeing Snap coming through at 4 or 5 cents. They do have some resistance in it. Oh, thank you, John. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I always like trying to share something with you guys that you can put to work and help you. So I think this is a tool that that can hopefully maybe help you stay in trades when you're seeing that next level of resistance at a good distance away. Maybe give you a little bit of conviction. Thank you, Waleed. Appreciate it. Thank you, Christopher. Bill, let's see, could you say more detail about the formula, the absolute value of P? No, because I'm not good with formulas. I get ideas and I have to either go to Barry or Michael. And it's not that I'm lazy, it's just some people are not good with stuff like that. Are you good with that stuff, Jamie?
Yeah, but I'm more the lazy type.
Yeah.
I can figure it out, but if somebody can just give me the easy answer, I'll go that route.
I started to, one weekend I told myself, man, I'm going to figure this out. I got in there and started, man, I lasted about 30 minutes. Like, no, just too easy to give Michael. But hey, I can come up with the ideas, and they appreciate that. So that works. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate all your kind words out there. I'm going to bring Scott in for you guys that are not subscribed. Hang on, Scott. We'll have a code for you here at the end. So, Scott, if you want to.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. A couple items. We have a new ebook series, so you can get those. There's 3 of them. You can get them all at trade-ideas.com/setup. It's got great information about swing trading, active investing, using range breaks and pullbacks. Andy and Jamie both contributed chapters, so you can check out their chapters. I forget which book theirs is in, but you will find out. We also have the old one at trade-ideas.com/ebook, but I expect most of you already have that one. So why don't you get the new ones while they're hot? We've got a podcast, probably have a new episode out tomorrow. Get ready for that by searching for Trade Ideas Podcast in the apps that you use to listen to podcasts, and add it as a subscription. And the code this month for this Trading Studio webinar is summertime, all caps. It is case sensitive. Just plug that in when you're starting your subscription and save 15% off the first month or year. Subscribers can also do the same thing when they upgrade via the account management section of the website. Just click login in the upper right of the main website and then click change my subscription and do so. Put that code in and save. You can follow Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot, Steve Gomez, who is not in this webinar today, but he's at Today Trader. We also have at Trade Ideas. Facebook.com/Trade Ideas Pro is the Facebook page to follow and share with all your buddies. Info@trade-ideas.com is the best place to send any of your questions, because that gets routed through our help desk software to the appropriate team member to answer your question. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Jamie. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.